This is things you might not have heard. I am Jake Payne, and today I believe I have the right date in the teaser graphic, the 25th of February. It is a Tuesday, and we're going to have fun today. Eight stories in the queue for this Tuesday covering news that you said was conversational, information, politics, current events, and pop culture news in the queue, including the passing of Roberta Flack, the passing of the torch, I guess, of Mr. Holt, and the passing on fashion, or jumping on fashion, well, for Luigi Mangione, which is why we're looking at his lovely loafers and his handcuffs that's around his ankles, plus five other stories that may or may not have Donald Trump or Elon Musk in them. They have them. So we'll give you those stories in just a moment. We'll explain the vetting process and how we got to these headlines specific for this morning. Remind you right now that our website home, where you can learn more about us, is the conversationproject.com. Stop by that place to learn all you can about us. And if you haven't found something that you're missing, not sure where that came from, but something's missing. You want to know something else? Email us. We'll chat about it. The conversation inbox at gmail.com. As previously stated, today is Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. We have eight stories, as we said, no particular order, just the best narrative we have. We try to get the important things first and the fun stuff at the last, but which sort of works out its way. So let's start off with the important thing first. And Donald Trump, because he is the important thing. And we're talking about his ratings. We've been talking about them in bits and pieces, but this is an article going on a new poll that was based off Reuters and Ipsos, people he has not quite banned from his site yet. And they're saying that his results are mixed. Right now, his approval ratings at 44%, were people who responded, down from 47%. This disapproval is risen to 51%. You have to ask approve and disapprove because there's that gray area in the background. That's increased from 41% at the start of the term. So the shift suggests that growing public concern over certain areas, particularly economic management. A factor, significant one, contributing to the dip in approval and the rise in disapproval is the perception of the economy. The polls indicate that 53% of Americans believe the economy is on the wrong track, which is pretty obviously if you're looking at things going forward. That was up from 43 when in January when he came into office. The approval of President Trump's handling of the economic issues has also decreased from 39. It declined to from 43, and about 32% approval of his approach for managing inflation. This is dealing with one, the tariffs that he levied or threatened to levy on China, Mexico, and Canada, and two, the fact that eggs have gone up to somewhere around $8 a carton, $8 a dozen at various places. Eggs are going up. Everything is not working out as well. So, despite the economic apprehensions, the president's immigration policies are really steady because people support that one. 47% of respondents approving of this approach. This one's holding steady going forward because they like what he's doing in immigration and like the thought process. And that one, they just don't like the fact that eggs are going up. It's day one things, be a dictator for day one, bring down the price of eggs, and in the war in Ukraine. Well, the dictator thing may or may not still be in place, but the other two things definitely need some work. I did a short video on this one pretty much after we got the news on it because it was just something that was so interesting. And at the time, I said, this is not the craziest thing that's been done so far in the 30, 40 odd days we've had Donald Trump as president for a second term. But let's me go into what the robot editor give you, and then I'll commentary on this one a bit more because it is still disturbing, just not quite as disturbing as other things. Former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino is named as FBI deputy director. Sparking significant debate, Donald Trump has appointed Dan Bongino, the former Secret Service agent and currently conservative media figure, as deputy director of the Federal Bureau of Investigations. He is now under Cash Patel, number two, the FBI, assuming there's some confirmation must go for there, but he's going to pass. The appointment, which was announced literally on Sunday, it just sort of in the throes of the night, places him in a new role and a new position. This is the first time in the 117 years history of the Bureau that a deputy director has never had a position, had no prior service before. Now, what was basically the nail that sort of just kind of got what they kept banging on for Cash Patel was he had no experience in the FBI, no real experience before doing anything in any management leader role. FBI is a bit of a different role for the leader because you can put anybody you want to, and if they sort of match, it goes there. As far as the deputy assistant, the guy in second command, it's usually someone who's gone up into the ranks to make sure that the guy in charge has someone who can guide him through what's going on and keep things going down the line. This is a case where Dan Bongino does have a good bit of Secret Service acumen, so we got that going for him. But for the past batch of years, he's been a talk show host. He's been a podcaster. He's been a news host who has done what he can to bash the FBI against Donald Trump. So once again, someone who really is not a fan of the FBI apparently is now second in command at the FBI as Kash Patel, not a fan of the FBI, who's in charge of the FBI. He did not turn into a museum on day one, but he is going to send many of his agents out to the field that were normally line guys. We'll see how that works out. Like I said, we judge this on not so much that it's a bad idea, but the range of bad that it is. And in all practical purposes, the range of bad ain't so bad. Move on to headline number 3. Apple is trying its best to essentially fight off tariffs. So this is a business play, but it also is a political play. They're announcing $500 billion in U.S. investments to boost its innovation for America, which is good. The $500 billion is going to go over the next 4 years. It will aim to bolster American innovation and manufacturing with significant focus on AI and silicon engineering. The cornerstone of this investment is construction of a 250,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Houston, Texas, dedicated to producing servers for Apple Intelligence, the company's AI suite. That will open up in 2026. They're going to put the word on this pretty quickly. So in about a year or so, we'll have this opening. That's factory jobs, that's construction jobs getting built, and of course, Apple jobs keeping it maintained. Now, why are they doing all this stuff? Well, it's really good for business to have these things going forward. But because Donald Trump has tossed out that tariff word again on imports from China, Mexico, and Canada, that's where Apple actually gets the stuff from. They have to build more stuff here in the States. Trump said, build stuff in America, no tariffs. So they're going to build more things here in the States, starting with this server facility in Texas. Apple aims to mitigate potential costs and increase the association with the tariffs, aligning more with the administration's push for domestic production. That means productivity and jobs for USA. Means probably higher costs in some cases for just general stuff because we won't have the cheap labor, but it'll be good stuff, if you will, Apple stuff, if you will, going forward. You can see how this is going to go for you and us, US, going forward, but it's a good deal for Apple, who gets a little bit of some of that heat off their backs from the administration, trying to save face and keep things back to America first. If Apple product is built in America, then that means America first. Now, for number 4, we had to sneak in an Elon Musk story, but we're not talking about what we should be talking about. That's the email on the firings that's going out, because that's a really complicated issue, and it literally changes hour by hour. At the moment for that one, Elon Musk says you have a reprieve because the PM said you don't have to answer the email; it's voluntary. But then Musk said Trump is going to let you get one more pass. Don't answer it tomorrow, and you'll probably get fired. But we're not talking about that. We talk way too much about that on what we're not talking about. Headline for today's story number 4 is Elon Musk's daughter, Vivian, goes viral after learning about 6 siblings online. We talked about her in the past, in this literal story right here, but essentially what we found out is that the 20-year-old estranged daughter of Elon Musk shared on social media that she not only discovered 2 half siblings on the platforms, but 6 half siblings on the social media platforms. This was posted in the middle of February, about a week ago. Recounted learning about her half brother's existence via Reddit post. Also, she expressed surprise, saying, "Oh, it sounds insane, but it's true. We actually covered that." But we actually found out that she learned about 6 of her half siblings going back and forth, going what's going on. Now, this is the daughter from his first wife. His, I guess, only wife. It's his first wife. Just he wasn't only been married once. He may have been married to Grimes. I get confused on that one going forward. So at age 16, she began transitioning to a woman, born a man, it's not a woman, and changed her name legally in 2022. And basically, it has no actual contact with her father other than doing stuff on social media. She found out about, I'm not even going to go through the names because they're all crazy. X's, all those stuff in there. Dr. Sidriol and whatnot. Techno Mechanicus. I guess I don't read the names. all the names and stuff like that. And yeah, those were Grimes, and of course, Strider and Azure with Neuralink executive Shimon Zilis, and of course, child Ashley St. Clair, no name at the moment, and that has not been officially corroborated with Elon Musk yet, but he's not said no about it. He's fought with trolls who complained about it, but he's not said no about it. That's what we're talking about. Those are things you guys are engaged in. Those days you want to talk about Elon Musk and his 13 kids. And his daughter saying, I know about 6 of them from social media because I don't talk to her. We want you to talk to us. We want you to talk to us specifically because we need your input. Make sure what we're doing is worthy of the doing we're doing. Like, share, and subscribe to the work that we do. Now, like what you're seeing here for things you might have heard or any of our other videos out there in the worlds, because when you like them, I know I'm picking the right stories. We had a story yesterday, or actually the day before, that's had all day to go through. The first hit on the MSNBC train. We'll get to some other people leaving in a moment and some updates there as well. This was the first hit where the weekend show was moving to weekdays, and they're getting rid of Joy Reid and getting rid of Alex Wagner. Joy Reid's last show was last night. It was a love fest for her, if you will, and everybody kind of gave their props to that one. So that's over. That's done. But that had so much grand response, so many likes, so many watches that it's off the charts. It's going to make me very happy this week. Hopefully, you guys as well. I know you like that story because you liked it. You read it, you watched it. So if you like these type of stories from me, help us grow the channel, help us get more people involved. Like it so I know I'm picking the right stories. Like it so the algorithm will share to more folks, and hopefully they'll like it as well. Share the work that you enjoy or hate watch, if you will, to other folks who will also enjoy or hate watch. Hopefully they will like it as well. And if you're not getting me directly into your feeds like a natural thing, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button so you get it whatever form you want to. Go to our website and see other forms are in. This video here we produce live for YouTube, for X, for Facebook, the short clips on TikTok, email newsletter, and of course, audio podcast wherever your pods are cats. Check it out wherever you want to. Like it, share, and subscribe so we get more people in the queue, get more very good information, very good conversational stuff from all of us. The story we have at number 5 this morning is on Louisiana death row inmate who actually died before the execution came about. This is about Christopher Sepulvado, and he has died at the age of 81 before they can actually punish him with the death penalty in the Louisiana State Penitentiary in Angola. It's attributed to natural causes, occurred just weeks before the scheduled execution date, of course, March 17th, which would have been the state's first execution in 15 years. If you're an execution fan, you're going to have to wait a little while. Sepulvado was convicted in 1993 for brutal murder of his six-year-old stepson, Wesley Allen Mercer, in 1992. His attorney, Sean Nolan, highlighted Sepulvado's physical and cognitive decline, criticizing the state's plan to execute him anyway. He was suffering from things like COPD. He had a gangrenous leg, which was amputated shortly before his passing. Complications testified debates over ethics and legality of executing elderly and infirm inmates. Actually, good conversation to have because we have issues there. We had the issue where the man who shot the young man in the door was going to get the death penalty, and he, or actually just got sentenced and just pleaded guilty and was about to hear about sentencing, and he passed away just after he pleaded guilty because he was old and he was in poor health as well. These are issues because old people can actually do crimes and should be punished or face some sort of retribution for their crimes. Well, retribution is not the word I want to use, but there. So there's a case of a man who was extremely old, in his 80s, sitting in jail for a crime that happened many, many years ago in poor health and just passed away from the conditions of his health, as opposed to the actual injection for nitrogen gas. That's what they plan to do in Louisiana. Like I said, if you're a fan of executions, gotta wait a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit longer. We're gonna lighten it up in a sense for the next couple of stories, although these next 3 stories wrapping up, but these first 2 are pretty heavy for us. Number 1 is the loss of Roberta Flack, legendary singer, songwriter, of course, known for Killing Me Softly and other great hits, has died at the age of 88. Legendary songwriter was known for his soulful voice, passed away on February 24th, surrounded by family at her home. She had been dealing with anther- amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, should have said ALS, since she was diagnosed in 2022, which rendered her unable to sing or speak in her last couple of years. She was born back in February 10th, 1937, in Black Mountain, North Carolina. Her musical journey began early, influenced by gospel likes like Mahalia Jackson and Sam Cooke. Earned a full scholarship to Howard University, and she's all owned her skills as a classical pianist. Transitioning to vocal performances, she had breakthrough came when Clint Eastwood featured her rendition of "The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face" for the film Play Misty for Me in 1971. That was, of course, a bit before my time, but it is a legendary hit and legendary song in its coverage. And it actually got her some awards from that one. And through the 70s and 80s, she did a blend of soul and jazz and folk that resonated for a lot of audience. And then she had the big hit in 1973, Killing Me Softly, with this song, which has resonated for decades, having been redone over and over again, being one of those songs that it's just timeless. Of course, Al B. Sure did it in the 80s, and then, of course, Lauryn Hill did it in the 90s going forward. Also, collaboration with Donny Hathaway. Where is the love? And the closer I get to you, further so I find your place in music history. The love, the hits, the voice. We are going to miss Roberta Flack. We also going to miss Lester Holt, at least, well, nightly. I guess Dateline's on all the time, so that counts. So Lester Holt's actually stepping down as the anchor of the nightly news for NBC after a decade of running that part, but he's not going away at all. Just like Hoda is not going away from NBC News, she's just not getting up at 4 in the morning to show for today's show. Lester Holt's going to do more Dateline NBC. In fact, he is full-timing Dateline to, I guess, bring it back to its prominence, make Dateline great again, I guess, going forward. So we will see how that works out in the next couple of weeks. But we're not losing Lester Holt as a pure full-time journalist. He will stop by for special editions. He'll stop in to do cover special coverage for things because he's got that talent, he's got that look, he's got that gravitas, if you will. And we actually produced a video on this one already that's out there to be seen and going forward. Now, this is not the end of our losing of anchors who aren't being lost, if you will. We also have a video out there, a short video cut up for the continued cuts at MSNBC, which are not so much cuts, but reshuffling. They're cutting time off of people's schedules, I guess. They're getting rid of the Katie Fang show. You're getting rid of the Miami Bureau, so there's no place to produce the Katie Fang show. You're getting rid of a host that broadcasts from there. Daytimes, he's going to go to other things. They're getting rid of Jonathan Capehart and of Eamon one man whose last name I can't pronounce, or I can go there, so I don't have the script. Getting rid of those weekend shows to produce something else in their places. Yes, yes, yes. As they've been saying, all the women, all the black people, they see me going away. Joe and Mika not going anywhere. And yes, Al Sharpton didn't seem going anywhere anyway. That's a whole nother story, if you will. This is a time of transition for news, cable news specifically. Here, specifically with nighttime news and network with Lester Holt. But cable news is what gets the most coverage because that's what most people are sort of watching. The nightly newscasts, they are far from dead, but just who's watching in an era where things are made for clippy clips is the issue. And that might be why Lester Holt is moving away from that one. He also, has earned his time to go do other things. He's earned it. So Godspeed to Lester Holt. More Dateline early summer where he's doing more and more and more Dateline, going officially away from the desk for anchor chair for 10 years. But we lose a great face, a great voice, and a great person. Been doing this stuff for quite some time. It's going to be different. Hopefully, they find a nice new transitional person who can be just as gravitas, not a real word, as Mr. Holt. And finally, although I did hit the button in the slide a little early, so here's an interesting take on Mangione, Luigi Mangione, if you will. Courtroom fashion, viral trends on people wanting loafers and anklets over social media. So I put the split screen because people were kind of, they're really into the deal for the the sweater combination there, and although the full vest is not necessarily one that's good for fashion, but just watching the video. If you're not watching the video, go find us on YouTube or find us on TikTok. We'll probably do this for TikTok. It's the video. It's the picture we use for our teaser graphic. This is how he arrived to court today in khakis, a green sweater, button down Oxford shirt underneath, no tie. Mhm. He's just watching the audio. Apologies for that one. That was not exactly that was not nice. And the no socks, which is customary, and some loafers, penny loafers, if you will. I even see the little slot where you put your penny if they fit these days. Nobody's putting pennies in their loafers anymore. But there you go. And of course, his shackles, his anklets, his handcuffs around his legs so he cannot escape. Other than that, it's a pretty good look. That's a pretty good look. And so the social media trend and the big spike over people in loafers, wearing khakis, wearing green cable knit sweaters, and just chilling with their anklets is happening. The spike for the search of Luigi Mangione loafers. I'm not sure where it was before, but guess what? It went up by 1,400%. People looking into the fashion trend, essentially going back to the early 90s, late 80s, to something more simple, simpler time, simpler era going forward. Now, will this really force a trend for the fashionistas out there? Start pushing out more loafers and going sockless all summer long? Hopefully not. But we need these things. The conversation project, as I say often, is not a monologue. It's not me just picking stories that look kind of cool. These are stories that you guys actually engage in and tell me that are interesting. So we'll explain literally in moments when we click to the graphic slide there. But these are stories that you guys wanted some information on. Talk to. Yes, maybe I picked the wrong ones. You have to tell me, and how you tell me, we'll tell you how that works right now. So the teaser section here is where this is a story we are teeing up for you to engage in on our feeds. Our feeds are on Facebook and X and Threads. We check out Threads for the numbers every so often, but it doesn't really support well because it doesn't do great stats. X and Facebook still do good stats, so we can look and see what stories are being engaged in the most. So when you see a story, any headline we post every 50 minutes on your X, on your Facebook feed, engage in it if it's worthy. Whether you like it or hate it, give me the response. No, it's something that's worthy of conversation. Like it, love it, hate it, share it, reply to it as you will. The more engagement a story gets inside those feeds, better chance you have of talking about it. Every weekday morning, we talk about the top stories, or from the top stories. Monday, we give you 10 stories from top 30 from the weekend. Tuesday through Friday, we'll give you 8 stories, top 15 stories of the day, because we get 3 stories a day. That's 90 for the weekend, 30 a day. So 8 stories is how we present it today and for the rest of the week. These are stories that you guys engaged in. So what happens to the stories, the 7 that get dropped off the wayside, or the 15 or so that don't make it into contention? Well, you need to get more people engaged in those stories. You pick the ones that seem to be most engaging and pick the ones that seem to have the better storyline. And that's what we have today. If we got the wrong stories today, email me at the conversation inbox at gmail.com, or reply in this video that, hey, Mangione's shoes were cool. But why didn't you talk about this other story? That way we can know to look for those stories in the future to put them into the fix, into the queue for you daily. Now we're going to move on to our sponsor section. I click buttons improperly. We're gonna go with Flowers Fast today. Flowers Fast is a website. It's a link that we need you to hold on to and keep in your back pocket, because Flowers Fast does exactly what it says. You get same day flower orders from Flowers Fast via the FTD network. You go to their website, you look at very beautiful bouquets, very nice looking, also snacks and other packages as well. And for the flowers, FTD will basically package them together, put them into their van, and send them to your loved one across the continental U.S. same day in most cases. Early morning order, get there same day without much issue. Now, if you're ordering things like the cookies and the cupcakes and the strawberries that are dipped in chocolate and the Oreos that are covered in all pretty look like, You will have to wait maybe a day for FedEx to get them there. That happens. It's there. But Flowers Fast will get you your gift fast. Now, if you have messed up something, you might want to use this spot. If you are a person who has a vendor that needs a gift really quickly, Flowers Fast works as well. If you're just a fan of summer sausage, Flowers Fast will take care of you as well. So check them out. Use our affiliate link so we get a small commission for you using them. This is the conversationproject.com/flowersfast. This is the conversationproject.com/flowersfast and get in on this one. Like I said, small commission for bringing in the door, but keep this one in your back pocket because you never know when you need those flowers and need them fast. The Conversation Project lives online at this is the conversationproject.com. What do you know? That's what we call ourselves. And what you get from us is news, information, and commentary. It's that simple. But it's not just a blathering of commentary described as news. It's not just a whole really dry newscast, although today was kind of dry. Not feeling so great, so it's a little dry on today. It is conversational topics that you deem are conversational. We put them out there on the feeds, as we say, so that you get a chance to vote up vote, vote down vote stories that seem to make more sense, and then we pick from the ones you say are the better one. It's a dialogue. It's a conversation. It's not a monologue. So to be a part of the gig, check out our website, see what we have out there. Check out some old stories, some old coverage, see how you like about those things. Maybe help us out by stopping by our sponsors or visiting the partnership page and being a partner. Signing up for other places to watch us or listen to us or read us, our email newsletter, our audio podcast, wherever your podcast, and of course, links to other places, including TikTok, that we have our videos as well. All that, all fine, all good, all great at the Conversation Project. And just stop by the website and learn about our origin story. It is this is Conversation Project.com. We're going to wrap it up for this morning. Today has been for the recording and all the rest of the day. It will be Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. My name is Jay Clifton Payne, and I am glad to be a part of this world here. Going off topic because we hadn't went gone too far yet. Hitting, this year I hit 50 years old, which thank you so much for saying, I look young and that's all great. But this year has been a trying year, extremely trying year as you hit that middle age number, you start to worry about, your legacy in life. And in the recent past, like literally nearby, there have been people who hit the age of 50 who have passed away, and people who hit the age of 50 who have been ascended to positions that they're not qualified for. And so while I'm glad to be here, sometimes I worry about what I'm doing, whether it's worthy of doing any work and whether anyone actually cares. I have right now the count is 30 people watching live. Most of them are probably bots for this live recording of this. So I'm glad those folks are here. But I'm glad for anyone who watches on replay, anyone who comments to any video, anyone who has been a partner or a contributor or gave us a bit of money in the past going forward. Anyone who just watches, goes to the feeds and does the free stuff, click things to make sure we have stuff to talk about. This is not the time, the place, or the era to really do the full thank you, but I have to do a quick thank you because if you're not grateful for what you have, you can't be grateful for the things that you want to get eventually, and you'll probably never get them. So I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for all you here. I say love you, mean it every day, and because I love you, mean it every single day. So follow us on our feeds. Email us if you have any questions, and of course, stay limber, stay hydrated, stay on task for this long thing called life. It's a marathon. Please don't make it a sprint. Love you very much. Mean it. I'm going to go lay down for a little bit because I got a full day of work to get to. We were snowed in last week, so I got a lot of catching up to do. I got to go to work. You're probably going to work as well. If you work for the government and you got to write that list, go ahead and get that list done because we don't really know. Meantime, assuming that all is well for tomorrow, we know we'll be back, you and I, doing this chatting thing tomorrow for another edition of Things You Might Not Have Heard.